Greetings, my name is Minister Ralph Hall, and I'll be speaking to you about the commandments of God, what the mouth and voice of God says about His commandments. I am a Hebrew Israelite. I was born in Nassau, Bahamas, where I presently live, and I am a Jew, or Hebrew Israelite. Again, Jews named for Judah, Jews are the nation where Judah is. That's very important to understand. And this word is for all of my people scattered over the world, and for the strangers too, who follow our God, who is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Elohim, Yod-Heh, Vah-Ha-Heh, Yod-Heh, Vah-Ha-Heh, Elohim. Some call Him Yahweh, Yeshua, the Ruach, the Christ. I also call Him that. But that's His name. Yahweh, Yeshua. And also, as we abide in His Word, we get familiar with the man Ruach, Yeshua, or the man Christ, Yeshua, or the man Christ Jesus. That being said, let's begin. What the mouth and voice of God says about His commandments. Part 1. Genesis 26 verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Exodus 15:26. And said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in His sight, and will give ear to His commandments, and keep all His statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians. For I am the Lord that healeth thee. Exodus chapter 16 verse 28. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? 2 Kings 17:14. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers that did not believe in the Lord their God. Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardened his neck, shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. What the mouth and voice of God says about His word. Commandments. Psalm 78:10. They kept not the covenant of God, and refused to walk in His law. Psalms 106 verse 13. They soon forgot His works. They waited not for His counsel. Exodus 20 verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Exodus 24:12. And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments, which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 22. These words the Lord spake unto all your assembly in the mount of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice. And He added no more, and He wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me. What the mouth and voice of God says about His word. Commandments. Exodus chapter 24 verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. Deuteronomy chapter 5:22. These words the Lord spake unto all your assembly in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me. Exodus 24 verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. Exodus 34 verse 28. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Leviticus chapter 4 verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, say, if a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them. 1 Samuel chapter 14 verse 27. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. What the mouth and voice of God says with his words, commandment. Commandments. Leviticus chapter 4:13. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, Numbers chapter 15:24, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savour unto the Lord, with his meat offering and his drink offering according to the manner, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. Joshua chapter 7:11. Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen, and disassembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Joshua chapter 6:17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that there are therein, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. Leviticus chapter 27 verse 28. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he hath, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. Joshua chapter 6:17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she had hid the messengers that we sent. Leviticus chapter 27 verse 28. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he hath, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. Judges 11:30. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hands, as Ecclesiastes chapter 5:1, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Psalm 39:1. I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with the bridle, while the wicked is before me. 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 4. That the Lord may continue his word, which he spake concerning me, saying, If thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth, with all their heart, and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. 2 Kings 20 verse 3. I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth, and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Ezekiel wept sore. Hebrews chapter 2 verse 1. Therefore we ought to give more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 19. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Matthew chapter 6:7. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. Judges 11:31. Then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of the house to meet me, that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Leviticus 27:2. Speak unto the children speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for the Lord by thy estimation. Leviticus 4:22. When a ruler hath sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should be done, and is guilty. Leviticus 4:27. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty. Leviticus 5:17. And if a soul sin, commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wish it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. Psalms 19:12. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Luke chapter 12 verse 48. But he that knew not and did not commit things worthy of stripes, shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of whom be much required, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more.